right. So again, today we're going to talk with you about what is included in my medical billing training. Again, I want to introduce myself for those that are here and you're on time. My name is Eric Auger. I am Patrick's co-host on these webinars. I've been with Patrick for over 15 years. I've done everything from helping at the top of the rung to all the way down to doing what I'm doing today. And helping out with training and coordinating training and obviously doing this. And it's a passion that I love to be able to do, to chat with folks just like you. For those that are brand new, it's the first time you've ever been on one of the webinars, let me introduce you to the originators of American Business Systems, and that would be Patrick and Linda. Linda actually started medical billing, gosh, over 30 years ago. And she was the one that kind of gave Patrick the idea, thinking, gosh, we could do this for a living. And then they did it, and they did it for a while. And I thought, Patrick is just one of those entrepreneur type guys who says, you know what? That's all a man or a woman ever needs, is someone to say, let me show you how I do the business, how to run the business, how to market the business. And that's what Patrick and the rest of the ABS team has been doing for over 28 years, folks, fastly closing in on 30-year mark here. So you're part of a great group of people. Whether you join us here or not, you're going to just enjoy working with the Phillips family and the staff of American Business Systems. What makes it all come together is this central part of the business, is which is really the medical billing platform. We know that you could go out there and go find any medical billing platform. You could go out there and find a medical billing platform and have your own marketing, try to go out there and start it all on your own. And that's obviously what anybody can go do. But why reinvent the wheel? That's why we're here. And plus the support that you're going to get. And for a lot of people who have questions, well, do I need to have a medical billing degree, or do I need to become a professional coder? Those are the things that we're going to talk about today and answer for you. But again, it all centralizes around the iClaim billing platform and the EMRX platform that we're going to talk with you about today. And by the way, it's powered by one of the leaders in the billing industry for software, and that's NextGen Healthcare. NextGen does big legacy types of platforms for hospitals. They also do it for the providers, the regular doctors, and obviously for medical billing companies. And they've done it for us here, and they're our greatest supporter and back-end support that we have here. So not only do we have the iClaim EMRX platform, but we also have, again, other solutions, other services that are going to help you build your business, sustain your business, and give you and your doctors, those that you're working with, a lot of advantage out there. Again, instead of just being a one-song band, some of you, those that can remember back in the 70s and 80s, there's a band that will come out with one song hit, and man, that's all that they've ever been known for. But that's not you here with American Business Systems. You've got several different options here to choose from, and we'll again briefly chat about those. And here's just a sampling of some of our other technology partners outside of NextGen that help us and help our licensees and our business owners here to grow their business. And along with that, we get to share in all the awards that they've had with their softwares and their systems. And so obviously these are things that you get to put on your website, because again, that's what you need. You need awareness. You need people that can recognize what you've been able to do and what your software is able and capable of doing. Now, what's unique about the medical billing platform or medical billing in itself, obviously, you got to go out there and market your business. Well, that's one of the strategies, and one of the great things that you get with American Business Systems is some strategies for marketing. And all three of these books are great for marketing. Now, the one that we're going to talk to you about today is, again, The New Thriving Medical Practice, because that's a book that you can help write your own forward to. It presents to you like you've co-written the book, and you get to be able to deliver that to your doctors. And we're going to share with you how that becomes a strategic advantage for you whenever you're doing your marketing. And with that, Patrick and the team here have been showcased as being part of the editorial board for the Billing and Coding Advantage magazine. Patrick and his team here at American Business Systems are also the co-founders of an organization called the Medical Revenue Management Association of America. That's MRMA.org. And they are the ones that once you get through with training, as we're going to kind of talk about today, will certify you as a certified medical revenue manager. Now you see that it doesn't say a certified medical biller, because why be just a medical biller when you can be a medical revenue manager, which means that you're owning a business with the certification that you've gone through the necessary education to really show you how to be able to run your own business in medical billing. So again, today's topic is, again, if you just joined us here, is what's included in my medical billing training. And Patrick, it's good to see you. And let's kind of talk about what's all behind this training. Really, that's where it kind of all started from, was you training people how to do the business.
Yeah, when Linda and I actually started doing medical billing back in the early 90s, wow, that seems like a long time ago, doesn't it?
It does.
We were doing so well after a year or so that, we had some friends and relatives, people we knew at church, who said, look, we are interested in what you're doing. How are you making a living and buying a new home and new cars? And I said, well, you know what? There's probably a market for teaching other people how to do that. So that's what we started doing back in 1994. And of course, we've got several hundred licensees, or business owners now, that we put into business and trained from coast to coast, from every imaginable background. It doesn't matter what your education is, or your shoe size, or your IQ, or anything else. We can train you.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the things we're going to start off with today is a little bit of training for you. And one of the things we're going to teach you about is what's called the revenue cycle management. What is RCM? That you're going to see that a lot. If you're getting involved in medical billing, you're going to hear about the revenue cycle management, or RCM. And so if you don't know what that means, we're going to teach you what that means today. Patrick, you want to kind of just take us through this little circle here, this diagram?
Yeah, well, we're going to teach you every aspect of this, so don't let it overwhelm you. And by the way, our training is all done online, virtually, but with a live instructor. So it's you and one other human being using Zoom and going through a lot of material, 10 different modules. I'll cover that here a little bit later. We'll show you what's in those, but that's all done online. Now, our package that we're going to go over today includes everything that you see here: how to get the data from the doctor, all about the claims transmission, what you'll use for that, the management of the claims once they've been sent, the follow-up on accounts receivable for the patient balances and so forth, and then of course reporting. We'll go into that in detail. So in a nutshell, you're right, Eric, this is what we do as a company, and what you'll be doing if you join us. Our package is about $29,000. That is like we call it a license fee, because it's not a franchise. We don't have territories. We don't have royalties. It's a one-time lifetime fee. And once you've paid that fee, you're going to get everything that you're about to see in the following slides.
You bet. And let me just remind everybody again, take some time, shoot us over a question. We're going to be managing and watching, observing that Q&A area over there. So just jump right on in there and just ask us some questions. Now, Patrick, one of the questions that we get a lot of is, do I have to become a coder? Do I have to go to school for medical billing? And I thought what we would do today is just kind of start off and kind of educate everybody here today of the difference between a coder and a medical biller.
Yeah, and we've got it right underneath each one of these pictures. You'll see a coder turns the doctor's notes, once they have interfaced with the patient, we turn those notes into numerical medical codes. Now, folks, again, let this sink in. You do not have to know anything about the medical codes to start a business like this. We're going to show you why here in a little while, but you don't have to go take a course on medical coding. Not the funnest thing to go through anyway. And then a medical biller, of course, inputs the numerical medical codes that the doctor has given to you into a billing system for payment. And you're doing all this, of course, in our cloud-based system, which works on any computer anywhere in the world that's connected to the internet. But once you've done that, you will learn in our training all there is to know about medical billing, for sure, and a little bit about codes. Of course, we'll touch on those, but as you'll see, the codes are all included in our system, so you don't have to worry about learning anything about them.
Alan's asking the question, is this a HIPAA compliant service? May share everybody what he's asking about. And, HIPAA is obviously what we know it as the Privacy Act, of what's going on with the government. Because again, what the government did, they came in and stepped in and says, hey, make sure that you're not sharing patient information to somebody who doesn't need to know anything about that. So that's what's called HIPAA. And we'll talk a little bit about HIPAA compliancy today. Oops. But what you're able to do is, yes, it does. Obviously, the system in which we have is a very safe, secure, HIPAA compliant service. Obviously, we wouldn't want to put any of our brand new business opportunity people that are coming into the business here in harm's way. So Patrick, you want to share a little bit more about that before we move on?
Yeah, you can imagine, folks, being partnered with NextGen. They, like Eric said, they're one of the biggest out there in the healthcare software field. They've certainly made sure and that they're conforming to all the rules and regulations of HIPAA. So yes, Alan, we can give you more detailed information about that if you want to. Just ask your ABS rep about that. Then he's asking where those are hosted and where does the data actually reside? It's in the cloud. That magical thing called the cloud.
Magical place out there.
And of course, Alan knows, it sounds like he knows enough about computers to know that that just means it's on a server located in actually several different electrical grids in the United States. So, Alan, we do have what's called redundancy. That is, several of these servers that are all running at one time. If one of them went down completely because of a hurricane, I forgot to turn mine off too. Like a hurricane or a earthquake or something. We've got several servers that would just kick in, and you probably wouldn't even know that one had gone down and one came back up. But those are all backed up nightly, off-site. Data is stored on tapes or whatever they back up on nowadays, CDs or DVDs.
Yep. Yeah, I don't think it's tapes anymore. I think it's they've got backup data, hard drives, and all of that. So again, Alan, all of that is safe, secure. It's been tested. It's gone through several different credentialing services to make sure that the servers are secure. And obviously, but that's a great question, because again, there's a lot of people that are on here today who may not have even thought about asking the question. So Alan, thank you for doing that.
Yeah, he also asked about what happens if there's a breach.
Yes.
Who's liable for that? Well, again, all you're doing is using the system that NextGen has set up for this, that's been HIPAA compliant for many, many years, over 20 years now. So you don't have to worry about the liability, because first of all, we have never been breached in those 20 years. Doesn't mean it couldn't happen. Of course, we know that somebody could do that, but again, you're not responsible for that at all, because it's not your system, it's not your software, and it doesn't reside on your computer. That's what's great about a cloud-based system.
Great. He says thank you for answering all of that. So you're very welcome. I appreciate it. That's why we're here. It looks like Abai, you have some other questions, and we're going to get down to that. We're on slide 17, so about slide 25-ish. We're going to get to that. So whenever I get to those slides, I'll come back over and answer your questions. But kind of getting back to the codes, all of our medical codes are always included in our software. And we're going to talk with you about that in just a moment, about how all that is stored. And again, if there's any updates or upgrades, Patrick, I'm sure you remember whenever you went from a typewriter typing out all the codes to some type of electronic way of being able to do that on a computer, which made things a little bit easier and faster. But you still had to somehow upload all the new codes when they changed. And gosh, sometimes they changed 2 or 3 times in a year. And gosh, are we billing the right code? When we moved to the cloud, so to say, about 10 years ago, our people there at NextGen supplied us with everything that we needed. So when there is an update, that's all done on the back end. So you may log out one day and get all the new updates overnight, and they're there. You never have to worry about uploading any of the new codes.
Yeah, that's all done behind the scenes. NextGen is actually updating those codes almost daily because they do change and they delete some here and there. So they're always up to date because when you log into our system, you're looking at the latest codes that are there. That's what's
You bet.
great about this. There's no downloading and updating and anything like that. Believe it or not, there are companies that do something similar to what ABS does. That is, they have a training program and software, but that software always resides on your computer, and you've got to download the codes on a periodic basis and upload them to your computer and to the doctor's computer that might be using the system as well. So
That is
we've
correct.
eliminated all that.
Yeah. And also speaking of codes there, if you ever get into with a doctor that says, hey, I'll use Alan here since he's asking some questions, and Abby, Abai, you may get a doctor to say, hey, can you guys do my coding for me? And you can say, absolutely, yes, because one of the services, as I mentioned earlier, is a service called CodeWrite. And CodeWrite is a organization that we work with that has certified professional coders for American business systems. So imagine that you could step out of training tomorrow, and then the next day, starting next week, you could go out there marketing your business. And if a doctor says, hey, Alan, can you do my coding for me? You can absolutely say, absolutely, yes. I've got a full, entire certified group of professional coders that can take what you want us to do, your notes, and convert your notes into codes if you'd like for us to.
Yeah, now if they're using our electronic medical record system, we call it EMRX. That's our brand name for it. That's just an online system that has all the codes built into it. And the doctor, when they're seeing the patient, when they're doing an encounter with a patient, they can actually push a few buttons on their iPad or their computer screen and actually see the suggested codes.
Correct.
Yes, our system actually gives them suggestions as to which codes they could use that would be legal to use.
Yeah, and this saves you time for not having to buy these books or and kind of try to flip through these books because, again, all the codes are there. If you ever need additional help, you've got certified professional coders that are helping you out there. Now, before I go any further, and again, Abai, I'm going to get to your question here in a moment, but Cindy just says, hey, it looks like we need 2 computers side by side to do the billing as seen in this picture. Folks, sometimes we use pictures just to help illustrate things. It's not that you have to have 2 side-by-side, displays there. You could if you wanted to, but most people just operate off of a regular computer and it is just fine. So I just want to make sure that we are portraying that properly. So hopefully that helped kind of put that.
Yes, and Eric, I have interviewed business owners out there, licensees, we call them, that are using 2 screens. I mean, what are they cheap nowadays, $150 or something like that. You hook up a second screen, and therefore the data that's coming in from the doctor can be on one screen and our system on the other screen. So it does make it a little easier. And yeah, we wouldn't discourage that at all.
So let's talk about the online training. Now, you say that there's 10 live virtual modules there. Is that correct?
That's right. I'm looking at that slide right now. I don't know if you can move to the next slide or not, but
I can. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, we were showing you there, folks, that let me go back to that slide, Eric, because that is a good illustration of our instructor on the left there that's connecting to you through Zoom. You and your spouse or partner or whoever could be on the other end of that and watching the training from anywhere that has an internet connection on your computer, laptop, iPad, even on your phone. I guess it'd be kind of tiny, but okay. So let me just scroll through this real quick, folks, because I did have somebody in my company break this down. People have wondered what is actually covered in the modules. Now, I'm just going to scroll this through as I talk about this, but of course, I don't have time to read every one of these bullets. You can actually have a copy of this if you'll ask your ABS rep, the person who invited you to this webinar. Just say, I'd like to have a list of all the modules and what's covered in those. As you can see, that's module 1. Here's module 2, a lot more in that as well. Here's module 3, 4. And again, there's 10 modules in all. So as you can see, folks, there's a lot of material that's covered during these. We're using PowerPoint slides for every one of these. We took this directly out of our current training. And of course, this is all subject to change as we update things. We're constantly updating our training, so they may change a little bit here, but I just wanted you to see that there is a lot of information you get for your investment in our business, because look, we're still scrolling and we're just at module 8. Here's module 9 and here's module 10. So,
but anyway, Patrick, I think we were just getting into the next slide here, which is about the certification. You want to tell me how the certification was originated and why this all came about?
Yeah, the organization that you see there, the logo in the bottom left-hand corner of that certificate, is the Medical Revenue Management Association of America. Now, folks, that organization actually does all of the backing of our training. They help develop the training, they certify the training, and they certify the instructors. And so they're the ones who actually issue this certificate that you see right here for you as a certified medical revenue manager. Now, remember, that's much, much more than just a medical billing company. You are not just a medical biller, you're a medical revenue manager. Everything that has to do with the doctor's revenue, you're managing for that office. And so it's very, very valuable for you to have this kind of certification. You get that immediately after you finish the training. And yes, if you have someone else sit in on the training with you, like a spouse or a partner, they can get certified as well.
Before we move on, because I'm finally going to get to, I think, one of the questions that was there, and I'm not sure if I got lost in everything, but about CodeWright, I think Feeney is asking the question about, so CodeWright is basically your backbone for the billing system. Actually, CodeWright is a side service. What the backbone of the system is the iClaim system itself, because that's where you do all of the billing and all the codes are there. The CodeWright is an ancillary service that if you got a doctor that says, we'll kind of role play this out. If a doctor is a surgeon and they're dictating all of their notes so someone can transcribe that out, then you can take that transcription and then give it to our coders. Our coders will be able to take that, change all of those notes into codes in order for you to do the billing back through the iClaim platform. So that's what that is all about. So it's a very integral part of billing. It's not necessarily the backbone, it's just one of the ancillary services there. So hopefully that kind of helped out.
Yeah, Fonny, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right there, Fonny. There are codes that come from the World Health Organization, and there's codes that come from the American Medical Association. So the backbone are codes that are recognized as the standard in the industry. We don't have anything to do with coming up with those codes.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, again, I think one of the other questions there was, about the system, and whenever I came out and I came back in, I'm not sure who had something up there. So if you want to retype your question in there, you had a question about the software, or maybe the stability of it, or the cloud. I can't remember what it was, but ABS has a true cloud integrated system here, and that's what you're going to be trained on. And this is where, as you are being trained, you can kind of see it kind of come along the side of it as if you're learning how to market your business too, because this is a very unique system. As I mentioned earlier, that you could go out there and go get any different type of medical billing platform out there, but you're not going to find one that's totally integrated with an electronic medical record system, as you can see in the right-hand corner. And then directly in below it is a patient portal. And a lot of them can have all of that. But what's the unique part of this business is the clearinghouse. And our clearinghouse is actually built inside of the iClaim system. And you got to have a clearinghouse to be able to get those claims out to the payers. And what's unique about it, again, is that it resides inside of iClaim. And then that's really what makes it different, because now you can reduce your denied claims. You can get the doctors paid quicker because it's being transmitted all at the same time.
Yeah, we're the only company out there and only software platform that has the clearinghouse built in. That's because our system was designed 20 years ago by two medical doctors, and They started it as a clearinghouse for other medical billing software people. So it's been built from the bottom up as the clearinghouse. And folks, that's why that's really important. We got another slide. We'll get to 27 here in just a second, and we'll explain that in more detail.
Yeah. And so the iClaim platform, now here's where I'm going to kind of pause and give a little bit of a commercial here, so to say. And that is, if you haven't had a demonstration of the software demonstrated to you by the person that's invited you to the webinar, get back with them and they'll do a full-blown live one-on-one with you demonstration of the software. That's important, because what you're going to learn there is really how it all works and what's the differentiator out there, and how it can be a game changer, and a lot of times out there with these different doctors. The second thing that you're going to learn is how, whenever you become a business owner here with American Business Systems, and whenever it's time to demonstrate the software back to your potential doctor, it's going to be the same type of people who are going to be able to help you do the demonstration. You'll never have to do a demonstration on your own, ever.
Right.
That's part of the service that ABS gives back to you. And so be sure to get back with the person who invited you today and get a demonstration of not only the iClaim, but the EMRX system too as well.
Yeah, now remember, you're not selling software, but the doctor will want to see how advanced our system is. We've got such great things that, well, Eric, you've given some of those demos. You hear the doctors in the background going, wow.
Yes.
like this has features that they've never even dreamed was available. So that's why we pay people here at our office to do the demos for you and for your prospective doctors.
You bet. Absolutely. And then, like I said, you got the built-in patient portal. If you've never used a patient portal, maybe your doctor has one. It's very helpful. You can go in there and you can schedule. Ours is a lot more advanced than most of them, and a lot easier to navigate. I've been on some that just like, forget it. I'm gonna just call the front office and see if I can get what I need.
I've done that too. Yeah.
But on here you can quickly message your doctors. You can schedule an appointment. You can pay if there's any balances. You can request your refills. That's what you want. You want to have access as a patient. You want to have quick access to everything that you need to have. So, Patrick, what I thought I would do here is just illustrate how this kind of works here with this,
Eric,
and then we'll, yes.
Now, before you go on, I'm seeing a lot of comments here in the Q&A box that's indicating that people are not seeing, they're still seeing my screen share. So can I ask you to stop screen sharing and start again, maybe?
Sure. Or well, let's ask this. If you can see the screen that's on mine right now, and it says integrated clearinghouse, and it's got patient, doctor, clearinghouse, and a bunch of buildings on it. Is that what everybody's seeing? Let's see if anybody.
There are 4 or 5 before that say, I'm only seeing module 1. We cannot see what is being shared. I think.
Oh, yes, they're saying they see Eric's screen. Yeah, they're getting it.
Okay, good.
Okay, yep.
Good.
I think that was earlier.
Okay.
And that's why I bumped off and got back on, because I think there was some hesitation there. Okay, good. Thank you for checking on that. So you've got the patient portal. So just imagine you're the patient at home. You're on your iPad. You want to go see your doctor. You do the set your appointment, and then all of that information goes directly into the EMRX. So the doctor's office doesn't have to pull your chart, doesn't have to write anything. That all goes into the doctor's EMRX part of it, the electronic medical record side of it. You get to go see the doctor, you check in over there. And then from there, once the doctor gets through seeing you, because all the codes are in there. So the doctor sees you, does what's called the SOAP note. Again, I don't want to get too deep into that, but they're going to ask you some questions. Why'd you come and see me today? I'm coming in because I've got a cough or I got a pain or whatever. And then the doctor does their examination. And then at that point, the system is already starting to calculate to the doctor, what's the diagnosis for you as a patient? And then, so that's called the diagnosis code. Then the doctor chooses the billing code there for you, the CPT code that goes in there with it. And then once the doctor finishes the exam, then he hits one or she hits one more button and it automatically goes in the iClaim system. For you as the biller, you'd be sitting at home and going, oh, yep, the doctor just saw another patient.
Right.
Click that,
Yeah,
create
it's
that
all
claim.
in real time. Yeah.
It's all in real time.
Eric, I
And
just
then
want to point out, we only have 25 minutes left, so I just want to make sure we're timing this right. I think we're getting
Yep.
bogged down.
Yeah, and then all that information goes directly over to the insurance companies for payment. So that's just
Yep.
a brief illustration about how all that just works. So be sure to get back with the person that invited you to get set up and watch that demo.
All right. So what else is included in my medical billing training? Well, you've got some professional marketing materials that we've spent literally thousands of dollars with graphic artists and printers and authors to help us come up with all these things. These are just some of them that we're showing here. There's brochures that you see there on the right. There's postcards, there's books, there's folders. And this is one of the books that we're actually using as marketing tool. As you can see, you can have your name put down at the bottom there, where I think there's a fake name, Sarah Smith down there. Yeah, CMRM. Remember, that's Certified Medical Revenue Manager. So you can have your name right there on the front cover of a book, along with me and, yes, a doctor, Dr. Vicki Rackner, which we have partnered with to help us write these books. This book is on Amazon. It's about $24.95, but you can order these when you run out of your initial supply. I think we give 20 of each one of our books. Now, you can reorder them for like $4 a piece. So they're very inexpensive as a marketing tool. And look, your contact information is right there inside, right after the forward there.
Yeah, absolutely. And you want to go into and talk about the Audit Guard part of it?
Yeah, so I'm going to just touch on these real quickly because you can find out more information about all of these on our website there, folks. This is one of those ancillary services that you get along with your license. There's no extra cost. You can offer what's called Audit Guard. Any doctor that sees Medicare patients is under the microscope from Medicare and can be audited at any moment. We will review the doctor's charts using, yes, professional certified coders, and then identify any possible coding errors, because the doctor can get fined, Eric, I think it's up to $10,000 now for each error in their coding. So we can protect against that with Audit Guard.
Absolutely. And here's some of the sample parts of that. And then folks, if you're thinking about how am I going to do some marketing, one of the things that you could absolutely do is when we get to start talking with a doctor was ask them when was the last time they had their codes reviewed by a professional coder. And
Right.
you can do like what's called a kind of like a spot check and do some random audits for them and to make sure that they're still within what they need to be able to have. So that's a very important, and that's what I'm saying. Folks, you could start this week and have this service ready to go for the doctors, and you don't know nothing about any of these codes already, and you've got people there to help you out with that.
Yeah, we refer to these services, by the way, as door openers because they get you in the door to talk with the office manager about things that, you know, they don't even know about. I mean, they didn't even know they had audits from Medicare in some cases.
Absolutely.
Same way with the next one there. Compliancy Guard is a nice one to offer too, because one of the most violated parts of a doctor is in the area of HIPAA compliance. We mentioned that earlier, or Alan asked about that. We simplify the compliance tracking, which satisfies HIPAA and the high-tech risk assessment requirements. So basically, we keep the doctor in compliance so that they don't get in trouble.
Absolutely. And let me also, one more thing about marketing, because everybody's always trying to figure out how am I going to get my first doctor. One of the techniques that we'll teach you and share with you, you're going to learn it right here today. Once you become a licensee with us, take this flyer, go down to the local doctors that you're maybe wanting to market to, and simply ask them to talk with their compliancy officer. Well, I'm going to promise you at that point, you're going to have an audience because not every medical billing company that comes in there wants to talk with their compliancy officer.
Right.
And so you're going to get some eyebrows raised going, oh, wow, who are you with? And so you really do get an audience pretty quickly with that.
Yeah, it's a great attention getter. Okay, choice pay, folks, this helps patients make choices online in an automated system. They can decide what they want to pay and how much they want to pay and when they want to pay the doctor for their portion. Remember, there's some people don't have insurance, don't have Medicare, and they have to pay for that stuff themselves. This allows the doctor to offer them choices to help them collect and process the out-of-pocket payments.
You bet. And then one last one that I think you're going to touch on real quickly.
Oh yeah, Quick Collect is a way to collect the payments from the patients that are past due. Now remember, you're not going to become a collection agency. You never pick up the phone and call anybody. This is all done automatically through our online cloud-based system. And it's the most difficult part of a doctor's office's management of their money, is collecting that past due from the patients without, ticking them off. And so this helps you do that. Again, it's all automated, and it replaces the need for any kind of collection agency that the doctor might be thinking about turning over. Remember, all these services are optional. You don't have to offer any of them if you don't want to, but they're included in your license fee, and you're able to offer any of these.
So, and the other thing is that's included is, again, lifetime support. Now, Patrick, I think if I remember back 15 plus years ago, at one point, you were only given 2 or 3 years of support at that time.
Yeah, and then at one point I thought, you know what? If we make money on all of the services that we just talked about, and the claims that go through our system, we make a few pennies on each one of those. Why wouldn't we just offer them support forever? And that's what we've done for the past 8 or so years, Eric. And we've had licensees who signed up years ago. I mean, talking about 20 years ago, that have come back to us and said, you know what? I kind of put this on the shelf. I didn't do what you guys taught me, so I want to get serious about it. And we just share everything we can with them and help them grow their business as well. So that support really is lifetime. That's one of the support centers that we have out in California, by the way, that you're seeing a picture of there.
Yeah, I believe, and I believe that's NextGen's office there. So that's part of that. I know that Patrick, we kind of already talked about that, but let's spend a little bit of time here about what it means that we do and what does DFY stand for?
That is done for you. Live done for you demos for your prospects. Now, remember, when you talk to a doctor, you do what's called a practice analysis. We haven't talked about that today, but that's part of your training, how you get some information out of the office manager. And then you set up a demo to show the doctor and or office manager exactly what our system is all about. And believe me, when they see it, they're blown away. You will be too. But remember, those demos are done for you, no extra cost, all included in your license fee. And we do those for you because it helps you. Well, Eric, we sign up about half of all the doctors that sit through one of those demos. So they're worth setting up.
Absolutely. And Dennis, that's what your question is can you help me direct in the right direction when it comes to marketing and building relationships with doctors? And this is one of them. Doing these demos for doctors, there's no cost to the doctor except for a little bit of their time. But I'm telling you, it's well worth it whenever you get to that position and help those doctors to be able to see that. And then plus there's so many different marketing. I mean, today's webinar is not about marketing. It's more about training and what you get in, what's included with your medical billing training. But part of what you're going to learn is how to direct market to potential doctors. And a lot of that's done through the training video library that you've got here, Patrick.
Yeah, I started through that training document earlier when we switched to me, and I scrolled through that. And I went through it really fast, but guys, there's whole sections of those modules that are specifically on training. We teach about a dozen different ways for you to go out and market this to doctors. Believe me, after 28 years, we've got that figured out. So we teach you everything we know about that. And yes, we have lifetime access to our training video library. Eric, I bet we have over 100 previous webinars that were done on the topic of marketing and all kinds of other topics as well. That's all accessible anytime, 24/7 through the internet for anybody that's one of our licensees.
Yeah, and tell us about this private Facebook page.
Oh, I wish I had time to go through this and show you guys this. This is really a terrific way. Not that I'm a big fan of Facebook, but I did join it so I could be a part of our group. It's a private group that we've set up. Only our licensees, our business owners are a part of it. I think you can see in that slide, if you look real carefully, there's like over 200 of our licensees that are on this group. And it's very active. It's interactive. People are sharing things with one another, answering questions for one another, sharing links and sources and resources of all kinds. It's a wonderful thing. And this is included in your license fee as well. It's a lifetime membership. You always have access to this, again, from any computer in the world.
Yeah, there you go. Absolutely. And that's, you need that type of support for especially when you just starting to get out. And then where a lot of people, Patrick, get bogged down is right here. They get excited, they got everything, but they don't know where to start off with a website. But that's part of their package.
Yeah, and you're looking at little bitty pictures of the different templates. We have about a dozen templates that you can pick from, and we put your name, your logo, your contact information. When they fill out a form, that email comes to you. This is a real professional website, guys, that you could spend $2,000 to $3,000 on easily. Anybody out there on the internet could build you one for $2,000 to $3,000. That's included in your package as well, because, well, you need one. You got to be on the internet to be in business.
You got to be that. That is your new shingle that you kind of hang out over there. And then the support site, Patrick. Now this is a pretty big website that obviously we could probably spend an entire webinar on. You want to just kind of talk to us about the ABS LSS?
Yeah, folks, this is one of the most incredible sites that you will ever go to. I wish I could switch to mine to show you this live, but for lack of time, let me just say this. Ask your ABS rep to show you our support site. Each one of those little tabs that you see up at the top have dozens of different tabs below those. And there are literally dozens of forms and other marketing materials and so forth that we've spent, again, thousands of dollars passing by our attorneys and getting all this approved. So you don't have to create anything from scratch, folks. We've got it all right here for you. Again, accessible for life from anywhere that you have a computer and have, if you have a login, of course.
Absolutely. You know what? Let me see if I can share a new screen here. And I think you can kind of see that right there. I'm actually in it. While you were chatting there, I thought I'd just go out there to it and just kind of show.
Oh, good. Super. There. Yeah, that's it. You're live there, aren't you? Can you kind of show some of the tabs there? Just move across.
I can. Yeah, absolutely. Let's see. Can you see it now? There we go.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, folks, you're looking at this live today. We're showing you, which we rarely do. This is the tab called marketing, I think. And as you can see, there's marketing with books. There's videos on here. There's downloads of different kinds. You can order things. There's tools and resources, just tons and tons of ongoing training. So once you've gone through the 10 modules that we showed earlier, then you have access to all of this to just learn as much as you want on anything that you want on that site. Good, thank you, Eric. That's
yeah, absolutely. I just wanted to kind of show all of that there. There's a lot of stuff that's going out there, all stuff that's always out there getting new, and news information out there all the time. You know, there's a look here on the 27th. Yesterday you had a sales rep webinar that was uploaded, and some new services, inbox health webinar uploaded, and all different sorts of stuff that you've done here recently.
Yeah, and that's all accessible. Again, you can go back in time and see anything that was posted on that news. It goes back page after page after page. So there's plenty of stuff to learn even after you go through the initial training. Yeah.
Absolutely. So I think we got back over to the slide deck there, and so I think we're still on track here. So Patrick, a little bit about the automated marketing system. You want to chat about that?
Yeah, Eric, in fact, I'm going to hold this up, and I don't know that this will work unless I turn off my magical background here. Let me see if I can do that. Yeah, here we go. Okay, so you can see now that I'm really in my office here. These are all postcards and greeting cards that are printed for our services. See, there's one right there. And all of these are cards that go out in the mail. Now, it's all done online though, so you never have to worry about this. You actually create the card and the text on the inside, all in our automated system. Folks, we have dozens and dozens and dozens of different cards already designed, campaigns we call them, that you can put the doctor on to keep in touch with them and help you market your business. And you can offer this service to the doctors as well to keep in touch with their patients. So I don't know how to explain this one, Eric. It's just it's a terrific business tool.
There you go. And then often, and this can be found on the LSS, virtual training events. I mean, you do this quite often. You do a lot of roundtables with our support system, our folks there, and then what a great opportunity to let people just simply say, "Hey, I've got some questions. I'm maybe struggling here. What can I do?" And then they open it up to the rest of the groups that are out there that are working and maybe found some success, and everybody gets to work together as a big team.
Yeah, sometimes Tim is usually on there. He's our support VP. You see him up the right there. And then right below my picture there, that's Cynthia. She is our certified trainer that will train you because she's been running her own medical revenue cycle management company for I think now, Eric, almost 10 years.
Yes,
So
amazing.
she's well qualified to be able to teach this. Yeah.
Well, I know that Patrick, we've got about 10 more minutes here. We're going to kind of wrap up, but and there's some questions that we can certainly go through here. But I know one of the things that we want to talk about is about what we're going to talk about next week. And this kind of goes along with some of the questions that we got about marketing. And the question that we're going to kind of help cover for next Wednesday is medical billing a good franchise for my market?
Yeah, we're going to show you how to find out if there is a market in your market for doctors that need this service. Now, folks, we don't give you names of doctors that are ready to sign up, you understand, because if we did, we wouldn't need you, right? We could do that ourselves. And we don't do medical billing. As a company, we are not involved in medical billing at all. I didn't want to be competitive with our business owners. But we can certainly show you how to find those doctors in your area. There are databases available that will let you go and find the doctors in any specialty that's out there. So that's next week, Wednesdays at 4:00 always. So just go back to our website and sign up for that tomorrow, and you'll be signed up for that one.
You bet. Now, Patrick, as before we wrap up here, let's talk to everybody about kind of the risk-free opportunity that they have about getting involved with American Business Systems. It's kind of unheard of whenever it comes about talking about, business opportunities or franchises. Once you given your money over to somebody, it's like that'll never come back. Even if I try to beg and plead and, call whoever else I want to try to call, but you give a 30-day money back guarantee.
Yeah, in fact, when I brought this up a few years back, my whole staff thought I'd gone nuts, completely nuts. They said, you can't do that. People will take advantage of that. They'll go through the training, they'll go to the websites, they'll download everything, and then they'll just start their own business without our help. Well, folks, we have been offering this now, like I said, for several years, and we've only had a handful of people that ask for their money back. So what does that tell you? It tells you that we know what we're doing, and that what we say we're going to do. If we don't, you get your money back. So that's pretty straightforward. It's very simple. We will be glad to put that. It's in writing in our agreement when you sign the agreement with us as well. So take advantage of that if you need to. But hey, we're going to bet that you're going to see our system and think, you know what, they have a lot more here than I thought they did. Now, Eric, before we get into that, can we touch on? I've lost track of the questions. There were so many coming in, and some of those comments earlier. I'm going to zoom in here so I can see some of these, so we can address these. Here's one from Abhi, I think the first one up there, 415. Sorry for jumping ahead, but my biggest question is, are you talking to me?
No, go ahead.
Oh, sorry for jumping ahead, but my biggest question is most of our clients already have a billing system in place. So why should they switch to ABS? What are the benefits to switching to ABS? Could you please cover this topic in today's webinar? Now, Abhi, let me just say this. Again, we've done whole webinars on the advantages of our system and what you can do for doctors over others. As you can see, we're squeezing everything we can in here this 1 hour, and we don't have time to cover that in detail, but I'll just say this. We have huge reasons why nobody else has what we have, and why doctors every day are signing up and switching from the billing system they have in place to have our licensees do their billing for them, especially the electronic medical records. We've had doctors invest in a electronic medical record system, Eric, and as soon as they saw ours, they said, well, I'm just going to write that off, whatever I spent on that, because you guys have what I've been looking for. So anyway, there's lots of advantages there.
Yep, absolutely. Did you want to go through some more of these? Because whenever I popped out and popped back in, I lost some of those questions there.
Eric, I know you have another meeting coming up at 5, so why don't you just check out on me and let me finish up here?
That'll be fine. Very good. Yeah,
Thank
everybody
you.
have a great afternoon, and Patrick's going to kind of help you out here with all the last minute questions here.
Yeah, appreciate it, Eric. I think you're sharing your slides though, aren't you?
I am.
All right.
If you want to, I tell you what, let's do this. Let's go through the 6 steps, and then you can go back to the questions, and then that's where I'll pop off.
Oh, okay.
That's okay. If you're going to take it back over, that's fine.
Well, I tried there and I don't think it's sharing that yet. So let me see if I can get that playing first and then share it. How's that?
There you go. Yep, there you go. You got it.
Okay. Well, Eric, you just leave whenever you need to. I know you got another meeting.
Very good. Thanks, Patrick.
Okay. So, folks, here's the 6 steps that you need to do if you haven't already. Number 1, you need to get our research guide. Now, your ABS rep, the person who invited you to this webinar, would have that for you. If you don't know where that's at, call the number right there on the screen or email us at info@absystems.com and ask for that. That's a 65-page document that has much more information than is on our website. It's proprietary, so we only send it to people who are serious about looking into our business. Then go to our YouTube channel. We have a YouTube channel called youtube.com/YABS. See it right there. And you can go check out a lot of videos that we've done. These webinars are all posted there. So you can see all the past ones we've done. Then if you want to talk to some of our ABS licensees, our business owners across the nation, some of them have agreed to be on a reference list. So we'll give you that and you can call them and speak with them directly. You also want to see a live demo. Be sure and get back with your ABS rep and say, I'd like to see that live demo of your system. We'll spend 30 minutes, 45 minutes, whatever you need to go through that step by step. Purchase agreement is real simple. It's 4 pages and it's very, very simple to understand. Just ask your ABS rep for that. We'll send that to you. You can look that over, pass it by some of your contacts or friends. And then when you get ready and you've funded your business, we'll put you in contact with your instructor who will then get online with you and figure out exactly how this fits in with your personal schedule to get your training done. You can do this training in less than 30 days easily, but some people like to drag it out and take a little longer, so that's fine too. Oh, I think Eric's gone. I'm just talking to myself here now, aren't I? Good. Well, look, I'm going to leave this up on the screen, but I'm also going to address some questions here. If those of you who need to leave and you thought it was an hour long, we got about 3 minutes. So I'm trying to cover questions here that somebody has brought up one here that says, Alan says, I've read a few negative reviews about other hidden costs. Now, Alan, I think what they may be talking about, if there is something out there that I don't know about, there are hidden costs that we don't hide from anybody. It's in our research guide. Download the research guide and you'll see exactly what those costs are. So we don't hide them from anybody. Those are costs, by the way, that you pass on to the doctor for accessing the system. It's like a subscription, right? A monthly subscription. The doctor pays that. And that's, again, included in that research guide. Says something about the level or support has been difficult and they never got the business going. Now, that may be somebody who joined us years ago. I'll be the first to admit that our support was not what it should be. We now have 2 full-time support people that are working with us on this, 3 actually now. And so we keep adding people and that helps it. And so I can understand how those people might feel like they weren't getting the support that they need. Now we have a phone number they can call, a toll free. We've got an email that they can use. We have that licensing website that you showed earlier that's open 24/7. And so that's the best way I know how to answer that, Alan. Ask your ABS rep, please, more about that because we'll share some things with you that we don't have time here to show today. Let's see. Okay, I didn't come through anyone. I just found this browsing. How can we get a demo arranged? Fonnie, just use that phone number or email that you see there on the screen and ask somebody that tell them you want to see a demo and we'll set that up for you. Fonnie also says, I keep hearing that a partner or spouse can get certified. So if that's the case, can both wife and husband get certified at the same cost? Yes, that's right. For that same license fee of about $29,000, you both can get certified. That's right. And on the same note, can an LLC with multiple members be enrolled for this training? Ask your ABS rep about that. We do have a limit as to how many people can get on those training sessions, but usually we can have 3 or 4 people on there if they're true partners in your LLC. Christina says, so we do not work with the patients, only the doctors, correct? Yes, that's correct, Christina. You're working directly with the doctor and the office manager. Fonnie says, are there any doctor offices moved from another software platform to this platform? Are the potential doctor offices clients need to be paper-based to move to this platform? Oh, no, as I mentioned earlier, Fonnie, I think it was in addressing somebody else's question. Yes, we've had many, many doctors. And in fact, each week, there are doctors who are on a system of some sort, software. Usually it's just, server-based. It's not usually a cloud-based. But even if they're on a cloud-based, yes, we move doctors to our system all the time. And yes, there is a way to import the system information from the patient data into our system as well. James says, does the system track how many patients each doctor sees for your billing purposes? Yes, it does, James. You'll have a report anytime you want to pull it up, and you can show it to the doctor even. Here's exactly what I did for you this month, and here's how much you owe me. Usually you're charging a percentage, by the way, of the money that you collect for the doctor. So let's say you collect $100,000. You're charging the doctor, let's say 7% for that money. You get 7% or $7,000 for that. And that's your money. You don't have to pay anything to us for that as well. Cheryl is asking, can a doctor call NextGen and just get their software and not go through me after seeing the capabilities of the system? They certainly could if they wanted to. There's no advantage to it. They'll actually pay more money because we have special pricing, Cheryl, for our business owners. They don't have any advantage to that whatsoever. And besides, NextGen doesn't work directly with doctors. They want to work with billing services like you, who can bring them lots of clients. Trudy says, if you don't have a business partner, but you just want someone to sit in on the class to possibly work for you later, do they have to have a certification? No, they don't have to be certified, but they can certainly sit in on that training with you just to see, what's going on there. Fonnie says, so if the doctors are associated with a medical organization, like a hospital or a medical center, don't they already have a centrally managed system? How do we make a difference in such scenarios? Well, you're right. There are doctors that are associated with hospitals and medical centers that let them do their billing. But that doesn't mean that you couldn't do the billing for the hospital or the medical center. NextGen has a whole legacy system that's built around helping doctors that are associated with hospitals. Wow. Okay. Dennis says, is that $29,000 a one-time fee for ABS even when you're up and running with your business? Yes. Dennis, let me make this clear. That's a one-time lifetime fee. You can ask on our reference list that you can get from some of our reps. Ask some of the people you call that are already in our business, what have they paid to ABS since they signed up, no matter when it was. Nobody's paid a dime to us. We don't nickel and dime people to death. Jake says my area has about 5 hospital networks, so there are not very many non-affiliated doctors' offices. How would marketing to them work? Well, Jake, when you see our webinar next week, you might be surprised as to how many doctors, I'm talking about individual private practices there are in your area. You may think that the networks have got all the doctors signed up, but those doctors are actually dropping out of those networks now after the COVID went by because they don't like working for a hospital. They would rather be in private practice. And so they're going back in private practice, and we can show you how to contact those people. Bonnie says, how can I get these questions answered? Because I'm not coming through any reference or someone who's already doing the business. Fonnie, we will have somebody contact you after this webinar directly so you can get all those questions answered. Yeah, I'm sorry I didn't get to everything today, but we just kind of ran out of time here. It's 3 minutes after. Dennis says, hello, Patrick, are there any annual fees that are on page 62 of the research guide? Dennis, I don't know what's on page 62 right now. But I would certainly ask your ABS rep about that. If there's something that talks about annual fees, those have to do with those fees that keep the doctor connected to your system and allows them to use the electronic medical record systems. Okay. I think I see all your questions there. There's no annual fees though, Dennis, to us at all. No support fees, no new codes, no new seats, all those things that other companies charge. We don't do that. We just don't believe in that. Alan has a great question here. What are you finding is the reason why doctors choose to go with a service versus not going with it? Well, Alan, that could be a lot of reasons, but again, we're signing up about half of all the doctors that see our demos. So that should tell you something right there. If you're familiar with any kind of marketing or sales, that's phenomenal that you'd have that many doctors signing up. Now, there are reasons why doctors are locked into the system that they have, and they may not be ready to sign up until their contract expires with that system. When it does, if you stay in contact with them like we teach you to, they will definitely let you switch over. Is there separate fees Abai says, is there separate fees for using CodeRack? Yes, all of those services that we showed you about, those all have fees, but remember, you pass all those fees on to the doctor. In fact, you'll be marking those fees up, so it really doesn't cost you anything, and you actually make money on all those fees that the doctor pays for those services. Bonnie says, can the franchisees be overlapping in the same city or region? Bonnie, you wouldn't be on here today, probably, unless we have not vetted you in the city that you're in. But no, we would not allow too many licensees in one area. Believe me, there's enough doctors in any given area that you probably never run across one another, but we guard against that as well. Christina wants to know if we will provide doctors who are already using the ABS services. No, Christina, again, if we had doctors that were using our service, we wouldn't need you, and we would just continue working with those doctors direct, but we don't do that as a company. We don't work with doctors directly and do their billing or offer any of the services outside of our business owners like you. Jose, great question. How much does your highest producer make in a year, if you can share that information? Well, Jose, I'm going to encourage you to get back with your ABS rep and ask to see the interview that I did with one of our couples that are making a 7-figure revenue on this business. So I don't know exactly, they don't report to us. We don't know exactly how much they're charging or how much they're making or how much they pay taxes on. But there are many, many licensees that I've interviewed that make 6 figures for sure. Fanny says, I live in Tennessee. Can I do business in other states? Yes. In fact, your territory is the whole United States. You can bill for any doctor in any specialty in any state. Okay, well, folks, I rushed through those. I'm sorry, but I hope that answered most of your questions. If not, be sure and get back with your ABS rep using that phone number you see on the screen or the generic email address that we have there. Just say, who is my rep, and we will answer you and get you back with somebody so that they can talk with you direct if that's what you'd like to do, or email directly to you as well.